Excited about the parade?
Yeah!
What time is it?
8:30. 8:30.
For the parade. What time is it right now?
It's 4:16 a.m.
Oh my God. What's up, everyone? I'm Macy. I've decided to condense this down for my viewers that have short attention spans. So if you don't mind following my channel across the board, it is DAMOUSEOFINK, and you can follow me from everything to Facebook business page, Instagram. You can Google us, hashtag the Mouse of Ink, and it will come up on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, images. Go look us up. Remember to click those notifications because sometimes I might bring you really cool surprise videos like this where I share my personal experience from New York City. I am resident here. It's my tree in the background. Just lit it up last night and I can't wait to add ornaments to it. So perhaps when we go to the different markets, we will share the light shows and all that with you guys. It was important for me this year to go to the Macy's 99th parade, Thanksgiving Day parade, because one, K-pop was going to be there and my kids rave over those girls. So I wanted to at least catch a glimpse of their floats or of them. If we could see or hear anything, be in the same area vicinity, which we was, we'll get to that. It was just so magical. With that being said, I would recommend that if you have children that you wait till they're a coherent age and that it's a time that they are ready to experience the parade. I don't think that toddlers should be down there, and if they are, I think that should be the only people in diapers. With that being said, parents, please do not bring double strollers or strollers at all or any type of any of that. No tents. We already have homeless people that are down there, and the last thing that you want to be mistaken for is a homeless person. And the last thing you want to do is rough up some homeless person's territory with your big ass tent. You do not need a tent or a diaper to enjoy the Macy's Day Parade. I'm here to also debunk that. You don't need to spend any money to enjoy the Macy's Day Parade. I'm also here to debunk that. I grew up watching the Macy's Day Parade my entire life. I watched it annually with my mom every Thanksgiving. The Macy's Day Parade, my mom cooking, helping her cook, smelling the food all night into all morning, and then eating during the afternoon, wrapping. And we knew that it was time to eat when the Macy's Day Parade was wrapping up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I don't think that children under the age of 7 necessarily need to be at the Macy's Day Parade because they might not be able to use the bathroom. And they might be very uncomfortable with the elements. I'm going to go from audio now. They ate very, very well before we went. They used the bathroom. That all contributes to your comfortability. And my top advice to anyone wanting to view the parade is to not bring children that are too young to the parade. I think that toddlers would be more comfortable viewing the parade. Just based off of my years as being a child, they would be more comfortable viewing the parade at home from their screens. And it's not to discourage anyone to not bring babies. It's just, I don't know why you would bring a baby to somewhere that feels like it's like a freezer. It feels like Sam's Club in the frozen aisle. And, you know, we all know that we scurry through those aisles because they're cold. So that's just me giving simple advice for those who have a basic mindset. It's too cold for children and there are no bathrooms available. Not like extreme, you know, even we went down to the bathroom, there was a like 30 to 45 minute wait for the bathroom, which with all these people, for someone to even have their bathroom open in New York City is unheard of. So I was very grateful just for the ambiance and the safety and security of where we were. And then the height, again, seeing these floats up close and getting to see them from the second floor versus being down there shaking, shivering, trying to figure out what each float is coming down, and then the wait in between floats. So a lot of people don't know, but the floats themselves may pause or stop for a moment because 34th Street has performances from those celebrities that we mentioned in the beginning of the video. The thing about the celebrities is if you want to see the celebrities, you want to get down there to where the park is, like 59th. You want to go to 72nd. And there we would have seen Sierra on her float. But she was taken off earlier. So just don't expect to see any celebrities that are too big down towards West 36, but you're gonna get to definitely see all the floats. Snoopy, I think, shocks me. My son said that was his favorite. That Demogorgon is life size, people. It's one of those things that it's like you. I watched the season premiere, of course, we all did. And for it to be happening right now, these are the moments that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, hidden gems that I didn't know that was going to be down there, even though I had social media and I should have known. It's just things you forget about because it's so much to remember. And you want to be looking at that right there, I believe, was Buster Rhymes. Before him was Shaggy, and after him was Little John. Before them would have been Sierra. After he comes, and after Little John comes, I'm pretty sure the dancers came. I try to keep most pictures in order, but at the end of the day, it was just so many pictures. It was like 200 pictures, and we had 10 minutes, so I'm just going to stack them how I can. Like I said, these floats, of course, are for kids. So don't get me wrong. I think you should bring your kid, just not your toddler. I think comfortability, unless they are swaddled up, bundled up, fed, and you're prepared to stand outside or sit outside. But I just think it's unnecessary. The Goku float wasn't as great as it was last year. Last year, Goku was perfect. This year, he was angled a little too far downward. And Buzz Lightyear, of course, he was huge. I was excited. At this moment, I was like, man, we should have went and saw everything blown up because, we would have caught K-pop doing their rehearsals, perhaps. And then Luffy. Luffy was my favorite float because he was perfect this year. Of course, he turned bucket hat Luffy when I believe the street to the right scraped him last year. But this year, he came in perfect. Great elevation, wonderful altitude. He was my favorite float of the year. I have a Nico Robin tattoo on my left side on my hip, so it's one of my favorite animes. Shrek was also great, but Fiona was painted beautifully on the side. We all freaked out when Elmo came through on Sesame Street. I was trying to find him because Big Bird was just being so Big Bird. You couldn't see past Big Bird for a second. And, I wanted, of course, capture my kids. My kids are just as important to the floats to me and their reactions and how they feel. And they loved each float. They were getting kind of tired because, of course, we were down there to see K-pop. This is the gummy bear float. And bam, that's when the K-pop float turned up and we saw the dancers, and I knew at that moment that they were performing down there. I for a second thought this was Welcome to Derry, but it ended up being Bluey, and who isn't happy about seeing his little blue self? He reminds me kind of like a Blue's Clues replacement, but Derby was adorable. As you see, the sign says West 36. Sometimes I didn't know who was on a float, so I might have taken a closer picture. Now, when it started getting towards the end, we realized that we were just waiting on Santa, which, who doesn't want to see Santa and all the Christmas floats and the holiday floats and the Christmas cookies and everybody running around looking like gingerbread man? But then I was extremely excited to see the Pokemon float. Of course, who doesn't want to see Pillsbury? For me, Pokemon, it's the Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, right? Am I right or am I right? Minnie Mouse, of course, I'm the Mouse of Ink, and that's where my big bows and my bows and all this bubbles on me come from. So all of these floats, they're so beautiful in person, guys, and I think it is an experience that everyone should experience, but I think you should go when it's time and right for your family. You see my kids getting kind of tired. They're starting to act like they're tired because they just wanted to see K-pop, honestly. But we had to stay to see all of them because this is iconic, and it did get very busy. But towards the end, some people start there. They call the Labubus. Towards the end, some people did start to leave, and that's when I was like, no, we're not New Yorkers, but we are local, and we have time, and we're not rushing. And that's when we got to start seeing the really good floats coming in. Like I said, we freaked out over Elmo, and I don't mind the additional little stuff that I didn't expect to see. I guess I'm just so fortunate that we got to see above everyone else, and we didn't have to. And look, my husband's putting his arm up because he has a Mario tattoo. We're tattoo artists at the end of the day, even though my husband's a chef. And there's this walk too, this iconic walk after the parade, after you see Santa Claus. There's my husband again, there's my kids. And you get to walk with everybody away back to your train. And of course we have to take our ending little pics, but I loved it and I wouldn't have experienced it with anyone else. And I'm just so fortunate that we got to go this year. Like I said, we were bundled up. Look at all the people on the train with us. because everyone's going home, And that's what's the best part about being local. Of course, we had to drink Celsius. But I'll see you guys. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.